Welcome to Jewel and the Crown on this beautiful, beautiful autumn day.
It's very nice.
Football Brisbane's podcast about women's football. New sponsor. We would have. We could insert your sponsor name here if you were a sponsor. So insert sponsor name here. Hey, let's talk about some football, Greg.
Let's talk about some football. There was a couple of games on the weekend, but before we get to those games, there was some cup fixtures.
There was some City Cup fixtures. Virginia 0, Moggle 2. So Moggle through, Yep. And Ipswich City 0 and Souths 9. So a bit of a mismatch in divisions, I suspect there.
Yeah.
But Souths through, Ipswich not. There's one more round one game next Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. where UQ host Springfield United. So
I'd tip UQ to get up on that one.
Yeah, but let's hope for an upset.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all upsets in the cup are good.
Yeah, they are. They are.
And guess what happened during the week?
The Elaine Watson Cup teams were drawn.
They were. Do you want to know who's playing who?
I don't know because I don't know who's playing.
Okay. Palm Beach are at home to Eastern Suburbs.
Okay.
So that's a big, big draw.
It's a big game.
Big game. Annalee are at home to Mitchelton.
Easy for Annalee.
Easy, maybe not.
Okay.
Mitchelton are above them on the ladder.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And they're not scheduled to play in the league until the 13th round. So this is a bit of a preview for that as well.
Yep. It'll be about the same time. When are these games meant to be played? First 2 weeks
within
of June?
about the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Redlands are home to Western Pride. So Pride can't take a trick with a draw. Southwest Queensland Thunder at home. So to Pine Hills. So I guess where Pine Hills are going in the middle of winter.
Welcome to the top league, Pine Hills.
This is what it's like.
In the top league.
And they're right at that very cold place.
Yep.
In the middle of winter. Ask Jeff at East what it's like going up there in winter. He'll tell you. He seems to draw it all the time. Sunny Coast Fire are also at home to Olympic.
Okay.
And Taringa Rovers are at home to UQ.
Oh, the local derby there.
Yeah, a very local derby. The Gap are home to Ipswich Knights.
Okay. And
that's a tough draw for the Knights. And Souths are at home to Peninsula Power.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, interesting.
Interesting. It's all of the non-Brisbane teams got home fixtures.
Yeah, must be the way it came out of the bucket.
It's
however they draw it.
Yeah. Yeah. Names out of a hat. That's good fortune for them.
It is. It's funny because all of the outside Brisbane teams are at home this weekend as well.
Wow.
So it's exciting stuff. There were a few catch-up games last weekend, Greg.
Mm-hmm, there were.
Pride were at home to Olympic.
Replay of, round one, that's right.
And Olympic ran out winners 5-0. Goals to Natalie Tatham, Taylor Stockhill, Elizabeth Doherty, Alira Toby, who's back for Olympic.
Yeah.
And Amber Maxwell.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Alira's been. I should check with Phil and he'll give me the goss. But yeah, it's good to see Alira back.
Well, Amber's been playing left back, so I'm not sure whether she's been pushed up the pitch or maybe an overlapping run.
They work hard, those backs. They're not quite a Karen Longbottom goal-scoring backs yet, but they'll get there.
Yeah. Interesting, though, it was 0 on half-time.
Yeah. But, 5 in the second half. Can't really complain.
Pride struggled a little bit in the second half with injuries, so tough year for them.
Definitely.
The next game was the Gap played Southwest Queensland Thunder. Result was 10-0 to the Gap with hat-tricks to Leah Curtis, Ruth Blackburn and braces to Victoria Stevenson and Sophie Boller.
Right.
So
big win there.
Well, it was a big win and you can just see the quality on the score sheet there. And the last game on the weekend for the catch-up was Taringa hosted Palm Beach and Palm Beach ran out winners 7-0. Goals to Harriet Wither, Ellie Pobar, Lauren Brown, and a single to, they were all doubles, and Emily Benton got the other one.
Right.
Now, I did speak to Kelvin.
Right.
The poor hapless coach of Taringa on the weekend. First goal came after 7 or 8 minutes. They kicked off, Palm Beach won the ball back, scored again. So, coach killer. And then within 5 minutes, they got the third, so pretty much over as a contest. I did ask him how he felt about that and had such a good sort of moral victory against the Gap the week before. Not that they won the game, but 3-0. So he said, just sort of went out the window a bit. But they regrouped at half-time. It was 5-0 at half-time, only 2 in the second half. But
but Palm Beach seemed to win games in the first half and then perhaps say, well, we've won
Well-
that game. Let's have a bit of fun, maybe.
Well, and if they can afford to do that, good luck to them.
Yeah, why not?
So, yeah, Palm Beach are doing well. Taringa are fighting.
They are
But
fighting.
back into a full round next weekend. Golden Boot.
That wouldn't have changed the Golden Boot much, I don't think.
No, I remember last week we said that the top scorer for Leah Curtis was a little bit out of the. She was the top scorer for the gap.
Yes.
Well, she's pushed up into the top 5 now. So, Matsusaki from UQ still on top with 12. Lauren Brown from Palm Beach is on 9. Tegan Riding from Redlands on 9. And Leah Curtis is now up on 8. And Britt Whitfield from Powers on 7. So the goals are being spread around a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
Current ladder. Have you got the current ladder
I
there?
do have the current ladder. Palm Beach is now on top of the league. So undefeated, 19
Yes.
points, and with a goal difference of 36.
They've drawn one game.
They've
though.
drawn one game.
Yeah.
They drew with Redlands. We'll talk about who they've got left to play in a bit. East's on second at 18. UQ on 18 also. The Gap is now into the top 4 on 15 points. Redlands on 13. Olympic on 12. Sunny Coast on 12. Now, Olympic's goal difference there is 9. Sunny Coast is -2.
But I did
That's
notice
the 7th position,
the
Sunny
Gap,
Coast.
Redlands and Olympic all have a game in hand.
Yes.
Still.
Mm.
So I'm not sure that any of those games in hand are against each other. If they were all against bottom half teams and they all won those games, then all of a sudden the top of that ladder
Very
gets
congested.
very congested. So
Yes.
it's great.
Yep, it is. It's exciting. So Sunny Coast, they're the 7th. That's the cut-off.
Yep.
Below them, Mitchie on 9. South's on 6. South West Queensland Thunder on 6. Power, Annalee and Taringa all on 3. Western Pride with no points yet. Interestingly, Mitchie's goal difference -23 is the worst in the league, with Taringa also on -23.
It's actually Mitchie's is actually -30 now.
Oh, is it?
Because there was a glitch in the sporting thing during the weekend. All of Mitchie's were...
All of Mitchie's.
All of Mitchie's stuff was wiped, and everyone thought, oh, something's happened. They've been banned, or they've been promoted to the EPL, or they've been promoted to the BPL or something. But apparently there was some glitch in the system.
For
and,
one club.
it was just for Mitchie. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was just a glitch in the
The
system.
silent producer's giving a nod, so it must be true.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's
I still think
-30.
I still think it's sus. So the last result, which was the 7-0 loss to Palm Beach,
Beach.
wasn't included
Oh, really?
when you probably looked at it. So just reinforces your point, though. Worst defensive record in the league.
Yes.
And it may come back to really hurt them come the end of the season.
I mean, South's, both teams are around them. So 7th Sunny Coast is on a goal difference of -2. South's on a 9th, also -2.
Well, I'm going to make a big call here. I think that by the time we get to the 13th round, that 7th spot's going to be a battle between Sunny Coast, Mitchie and the Thunder. And they're probably going to be all locked on the same
So
number
you don't
of
think
points.
South's is going to make that?
I think they'll be like a game behind.
Okay.
But I think it's 4 teams trying to get into that 7th
Well,
spot.
the Sunny Coast and South's are clearly on goal difference. Mitchie's -30, as you say. Thunder -19. Power -19. Yeah. So
But it's good.
Oh,
It's
it's good
going to be
indeed. Yeah, it
interesting,
is.
to see who gets in.
speaking of teams that's got to play teams.
Yep.
Okay. Palm Beach, top of the table. But they haven't played Easts. They haven't played UQ. They haven't played the Gap. That's the top 4. So they haven't played any of the top 4.
Yep.
And they haven't played Olympic, who are currently 6th. So
Okay.
they've beaten Redlands, but that's the only team in the top 6 that they've played.
Well, it could come down to the Palm Beach Gap contest as to who gets that league.
It could be.
Because I think Palm Beach have got to have the way they've been playing, they've got to be in the box seat to
Oh, yeah,
to beat
definitely.
East
I mean,
and
they're
UQ.
still undefeated. They can only drop points, obviously,
Yeah.
whereas others have to try and make up points. So that's Palm Beach's run into the 5
So,
games left. And
Tough run in.
what are they? 4 games against top 6 opposition. Easts have to play UQ and Redlands, and that's their only 2 top 6 opposition. UQ have to
Winnable?
play, I think so. UQ have to play Easts and the Gap and Palm Beach, so they've got to play all the top 4.
So they'll be looking to win if they can get 2 out of the 3.
They'll be up there too.
Yep.
Redlands have to play Easts and Olympic.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Redlands have got arguably the easier run in, so they can't necessarily poach points. They've already poached. They've beaten the Gap. They lost to UQ and they've drawn with Palm Beach. So, results against East will be quite important in Olympic, but the rest you'd imagine you'd
So
win.
Who's Olympic got to play?
Olympic have to play Sunny Coast, Redlands and Palm Beach. So they've already played East, the Gap and UQ. They beat UQ, they lost to East and the Gap.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
over the
very
next couple of
interesting.
weeks.
Very
so
interesting.
A good point will be this weekend's game. So
Yes.
there's a nice way to lead into the...
Well, coming up this weekend.
Coming up this weekend. There's only 2 games on Saturday.
Yeah, a bit odd. We're one of those weekends.
One of those weekends. So Mitchelton are at home to Western Pride at 6 p.m. on Saturday at Terrelba Park.
Now, there was a glitch, you say, in the system, but is Mitchie actually going to be there?
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't know. I don't know. You would really have to ask Football Brisbane because the club still exists. There's that many people down there. And I think there would have been a bit of nasty stuff going on if the Capital boys had been dropped from the system. Seeing as they're sitting top of the ladder and trying to get promoted.
Oh, well.
So Mitchie at home to Western Pride. So past result Mitchie, yeah. Also on Saturday at 7 p.m. over at Jack Spear Park, Taringa Rovers hosting Power.
Big game for both teams personally, not necessarily for the latter, but for both teams. New coach for Power.
It is for the latter, really. There's a big, because don't forget, when we go into that second half of the season, points continue.
That's true.
So this could be the difference between finishing in the top 4 of the plate competition in the bottom half and not.
It could be, yeah.
Now, I spoke to Jamie Kerwin, who's the interim coach out at Power today, or a little bit earlier, and he said they're really still struggling with injuries and sickness. So because they did ask the question, have you got players coming back? And he said, not really this week. Another week or 2 away, and they get some of their players back. So,
is he going to be the permanent coach, or was there any mention
No,
on
he's
that?
still the interim coach. They still haven't made a decision about who's going to be
Have you
taking
been
them
called
over.
yet there? Have you
I'm
been
not
called yet?
mentioning a word about the interview. I mean, no, it's not happening
Okay.
yet.
So it's a big game for Power and Taringa.
It is. Look, I'm going to go with Taringa.
I think so. They've just been... Well, they've been playing more regularly, I think. Played last week. Having those weeks off can really lurch your season, unless, of course, you did have players injured and sick and that are coming back. But if they're not coming back...
So, yeah, I think Taringa Taringa are going into this, talking about teams that other clubs have to play, Taringa are going into a little mini run of not playing the top 4. So they've got a little respite from... they played Palm Beach the week before, they played the Gap, so it just wasn't a let-up, so they were just defensive all the time. So this game might give them a chance to get into the attacking third a little, express themselves.
Express themselves on the pitch, huh?
Yeah. So it's a coaching term.
Okay.
You should know that. You've
I've never
coached
told my team to express themselves. Never. Put it in the back of the net, go win, attack, blah, blah, blah. Express
They are
yourself.
boring.
No. You know what I'd do? If I told them to express themselves, they'd be expressing themselves at me. I'd be in trouble.
Well, I would like to see that. On Sunday, 12 p.m, so midday, Captain Cook Reserve, Southwest Queensland Thunder play Annerley.
And another one, I think Thunder will probably win it because, it's a midday kickoff for Annerley, so it's not going to be blisteringly cold.
It's Mother's Day Sunday,
Ah, well, so what?
So
These kids are old enough.
There's no Mother's Day breakfast for Annerley.
So what? I mean, come on. When the kids are that old, like they're parents, they're not parents themselves,
They
but
all love their mum.
they love them every other day of the year too.
Yeah, exactly right. I think Thunder will win as well.
I think Thunder will win, but Annerley might be able to... 10-0 against the Gap's got to shake your confidence, but last round game out for Annerley was an 8-0 from East, so... Yeah, I'm probably tipping Thunder.
I don't know if Thunder had all of their team there last week or not. It's one of those. And the Gap, you can see from the goal scorers, they were on a roll. The experienced players were playing against kids, really. So
after being held to
difference.
3, you'd imagine they would have gone out to stamp on it too.
Maybe Rob mentioned a few words to them, told them to express themselves.
Oh, get stuffed. That's just stupid. Also at 12 o'clock.
Where?
At Stockdale. Sorry.
Stockland
Stockland
Stadium on the Sunshine Coast.
Sunny Coast take on the Gap.
That is a danger game for the Gap.
It is, but I think playing Thunder last week, not just for the result, but they'll have the same type of play, Thunder and Sunny Coast, that NPL structured 4-3-3. And I think that'll give the Gap, hey, we beat this sort of team before, we can do it again, they're young. There's the reffing issues that you like to talk about up at Sunny Coast. So,
look, maybe the Gap frustration will boil over and
Maybe.
You never know.
You do never know. I'm still tipping the Gap.
So am I. I'm just saying it's a danger game for the Gap.
Yeah, okay.
But it's a nice place to play footy, Stockman.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming if it's
at 12 o'clock
yeah, I'm
these
assuming
days.
it's 12 o'clock, then there's probably NPL games after it. It's probably the under-20s and then the top side.
Right.
Oh, actually, it might only be the top side because they normally kick off at 2. So it's a nice place to get up in the stands and watch a bit of footy before you drive home.
Okay.
Have a soft drink or two. Express yourself. Also on Sunday, at the other end of southeast Queensland, at Malawa Drive, Palm Beach take on Eastern Suburbs.
First v second, and this game will be filmed.
It will be. The cameras will be there.
So get your team banner out and get yourself on the telly.
Yeah.
No one's done that yet. I haven't seen any like a rogue sort of, Annalise Star or a Mustang. What do you have on your silly logo?
A Mustang's head.
A Mustang's head.
The supporters wear horses' heads.
Like in the Godfather, a headless horse in the bed. Is that the sort of head you're talking about?
That's how I knew I wasn't coaching.
The Mustang was placed in the bed, bleeding.
I thought,
It's a sign.
I'm going for Palm Beach at home.
I think Palm Beach will probably do it. But if they don't, I mean, if East get a win or a draw, it'll be amazing.
It really opens it up.
It'll be an amazing thing. And what's great about this year compared to the last 3 years, it's not a 2-horse race at all. In fact, it's this. And
Is they Mustangs or not?
No. There's lots of teams that can still win it. I mean, Palm Beach, East, UQ are all looking good.
Mitchie,
no.
No.
The Gap and Redlands can still make a good charge, even though they're in 5th and 6th, fourth and 5th.
The top 5, as they stand, I think are all in with a chance to win the league.
I think so.
I think Olympic and Sunny Coast are perhaps a little bit off the pace as far as winning the league. Doesn't mean they won't make the finals.
I think, definitely.
But I think the winner's going to come from that top 5, and this is a massive game for both.
Huge game. Palm Beach, apart from Redlands, haven't had a very tough game so far. East have put in some big scores.
They had a tough game against Mitchie.
7-0.
Yeah.
Like against Taringa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But East, they're hitting stride, and that confidence, I think, that they could win the league, I think that's going to lift them this year. Whereas in last year, there mightn't have been that drive. I'm not saying people don't want to win every game, but they might say, we're not going to win the tops.
Well, last year I think teams were playing for 3rd and 4th.
That's right, and it's a bit different than to playing for first. Ask Liverpool, they don't play for first.
That was the best 11 minutes of football I saw in a long time the other day.
Really?
Yeah, okay. I quite enjoyed that. You can tell I'm not a Liverpool fan.
I didn't mean to stick the knife in, guys. Sorry, Liverpool. So that's a big game. Get your camera out.
Yep.
Be there.
And also on Sunday at Cleveland Showground at 6 p.m, right when I'm having a roast, will be Redlands 5th taking on Olympic 6th.
Another big game. And in the last few years, Phil's taken Annalee to Redlands, and it's been very close. I mean, I think it was his first game in charge. They only lost 3-0, and it was nil at half time. So, it's close. I don't know. I think Redlands will probably shade it.
I think what's going to happen, I think Tegan's going to express herself and she'll get 3 goals.
Express herself. And then she's going to write about it. So she's going to express herself on the pitch.
She's going to say, Tegan Riding scored 3 goals.
Fair enough. No, I don't know. I'm going to tip Olympic. I think Alira Toby back will bring a bit more strike power up front. 5 different scorers, that's good, but sometimes you just want, a Tegan Riding who'll get 3 by herself.
Look, Olympic are going out to a pitch where, like, Redlands' pitch is massive.
Yes.
It's like a carpet out there.
Elderoval's massive.
But Redlands know how to play this pitch. And I think that serves them in good stead when they're playing at home.
Yeah.
So I'm going for Redlands.
Okay. I'm tipping a draw.
You just said you were tipping Olympic.
No, I think Olympic are doing well.
Backing off now. You're doing this a bit.
No, fine. Olympic. I'm tipping Olympic for a win.
Tip them.
I'll tip them. Final game for the round. Souths take on UQ at Souths at 6 p.m. on Sunday.
UQ for me.
Yeah,
I think UQ are on a roll.
Yep. Great signing with Matt Suzaki. Great signing.
Her, Chapman, their keeper, they've got some good players.
That's true.
Some of their players from last year have stepped up as well. Yep. They had quality in their Sapphire team from players that were like experienced Premier League and Diamond players, but stayed with UQ when they went down those years ago. So they've stepped back up again. They've just They're going really well.
Yeah, they are. So,
Smoky for 4th spot, I reckon.
well, they're third now. This is the thing. East and UQ are in the second and third, and they're only a point off Palm Beach.
It's really tight. It's good.
It is. It is great. It's great news. So that's your
Could
football.
we might find that the league's decided on goal difference.
Oh, that would be exciting.
Yeah.
Yes. It hasn't been for a while, has it?
Well, no, but Redlands have had a big win against Mitchie 10, and then the Gap have matched that with that game on the weekend.
Well, Redlands 18 goal difference at the moment. The Gap is on 20.
So
And it's
those-
but Redlands beat the Gap.
yeah, those top 5 have got some. They're not too far apart in the goal difference. Well, Palm Beach have got a few.
Yeah, Palm Beach are putting them
Palm
away.
Beach could win this on goal difference. That'd be it.
They could.
Good. Anyway,
That's it from us, is it? Usually there's something else.
I
Is there
always throw something else
Yeah.
at the end. There is something else which we should mention just for you, Greg. The Women's Asian Cup starts next week, I think,
Oh,
or the
right,
week
in
after.
Vietnam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be covered by Fox Sports, I think, this year. So
Oh,
if
good.
you're not sort of familiar with watching Fox Sports and the football that's available on there, it's not very often you'll actually get to see live or delayed coverage of women's football, particularly the Matildas playing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't got that type of coverage at home, go and find a pub.
Or Annerley Football Club.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
We have something. Yes.
It's just I'm just mentioning it's just an opportunity for the girls out there to watch their
Yes.
national team play.
That is a good thing. Okay, well, that's our lot for the week.
I'm going home, express myself with some training, and
Okay, excellent. So enjoy your football, and we'll see you all next week.
thanks for listening.